Hi guys, welcome to GameTalk Fortuna against Ajax 0-5. Easy win again. Eyejax, welcome.
Thanks.
Before we start, how are you feeling, man?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm pretty happy with all those goals that we saw last three matches. I mean, 19 goals in 3 matches. That's quite something else.
Yeah.
So,
So
seven goals average a game. That's amazing.
it's crazy. It's crazy. So look, tell us a little bit about the game, but also tell us like where do you think Ajax stands at this point? I mean, it's very early in the season, but we're already like basically destroying all our opponents at the moment. So how do you view this?
Yeah, where we stand is pretty simple. We stand at the first place in the competition and in Europe. So that's great, and I hope we can continue by claiming that spot for the rest of the group stage and the season in the competition. And to be frank, this is a great season so far. It looks like we had to get up to speed, like the first few games of the season. A lot of players coming back to the squad from international tournaments. And you saw that, for example, PSV was already further because they had a lot of qualification matches. And now we can see that the squad is getting fit. And especially with the bench, it's such a luxury problem we have because this bench is amazing compared to the last decades. I do not think we've ever had a bench with so much quality on it that we can bring in during the match and do not drop like do not drop very low quality wise with the players coming in. So this is something else.
Exactly. I mean, we're in a situation right now. If we put people from the bench into the game and we make substitutions, we're not getting any weaker, or we're not, like we can go on the same foot and just score another goal, a couple of goals. It doesn't matter.
Yes, it's crazy. And also Darami, you can also see he brings a lot of depth and quality to the squad. Kudus getting back in match fitness form, scoring his goal also. And it's great because the players that get substituted are a little bit more fatigued because they played already a bit. And the energy the new players bring, it's amazing. Also Nico today, it's crazy what he brought from the bench and scoring that goal with the combination with Tadic. It's quite something else, and I really enjoyed some of the link-up plays today.
So my question to you, right? Because you're mentioning Tagliafico, he's one of the few, of course, that has to fight for a spot at the moment. And of course, look, Ajax fans are happy with having this squad depth at the moment, but on the other side, players want to play, especially players like Tagliafico have been like key players for us, and now he has to play for the left back position against Blind, who has been a key player for us as well. Do you think this will evolve into a situation maybe further in the season, or do you think Ten Hag is able to manage this, well?
Yeah, that's a great question. I actually do not know the answer to this question because it can be difficult. Will we have injuries? Will we be fit during November, December? Usually we have some injuries in the squad, and you will be happy if you have some sufficient backup by then. But to be honest, I really think it's going to be difficult choosing which player to play on that left back position because Blind is terrific with his passing play. But if I'm being honest, I think Tagliafico is more suitable to the squad in the bigger games because if you play in Europe against fast wingers, you have to have somebody with what they say with grinta, with power on that left side, and also with ability to keep up with these wingers because he's also getting forward a lot. He has more speed than Blind does, and I think these qualities will be more important in the bigger games in Europe against the bigger opponents. So in the eredivisie, we all saw you can play a lot of players on a lot of spots because against these teams like Cambuur, like Fortuna Sittard, you will win easily. So it doesn't make that kind of difference which player you choose. But the bigger games in the Eredivisie and in Europe, it will be a difficult choice who you want to play.
Yeah, but we played last week against Sporting. Do you think we played also with Blind on the left side? He did pretty well, right? He was good. He was one of the good
Yeah,
players.
yeah. He did also great that match. But I do think Blind has more weaknesses in his defensive play than the Tagliafico does. Blind is terrific in his passing play and bringing the ball forward and passing lines, like straight to the midfield or the attackers. But I think defensive-wise, Tagliafico is just a better player. So it depends what kind of opponents you face in Europe or in the eredivisie, which kind of player you want to play. And this is also a luxury problem. But for me, I think in the bigger games, I think rather play Tagliafico against fast wingers than Blind.
All right. Okay, look, the reason why I'm asking you this, and it wasn't particular about Tagliafico and Blind, but it was an example because prior to the game against Fortuna, the question came to Ten Hag, and probably this question will be the hot topic for the remainder of the season. And I also want the viewers to comment on this if they can. They asked him like, how do you go about, like rotating the players, and where do you look at? And Ten Hag said, of course, you have to keep them fresh and you have to keep them motivated. But at the end of the day, it all goes about winning. And I'm the coach who makes the decision, and everybody has to go on board, be on board of this. And there is no individual, I don't look at individualities at the moment. It's all about the team. I know these kind of things we hear all the time, right? But Ajax is, and I've asked this question before, the first time that we're having this luxury problem also from the bench. We have so many good players. Again, I'm going to ask you the question. What do you think? Do you think if things keep going like they're going right now, we keep winning, he keeps rotating like he's doing, Ten Hag, that things are manageable? Or do you think that, it might be a problem?
I think we have to get rid of the mentality that there's going to be a problem, because the bigger teams in Europe, and I mean the big money teams, they have like quality players on the bench, and they are able to manage it. So you have to get rid of the mentality that we are used to having like 11, 12 players that are quality players, and that it drops a bit in quality on the bench. If you want to make that leap into Europe and you want to be consistent in Europe, you got to have a quality bench throughout the season. So this is part of being a top club, and Ajax is a top club by history and by results also last seasons. And I think this is part of the growth that we managed to make last seasons, by being able to have a quality impulse also on the bench. So this is just necessary for the remainder of the season, and I do not think it's going to be a problem. I do think it's a luxury problem, but this is something that is great to have,
Oh, absolutely. Okay. So going back to the game that we saw today,
Yeah.
if we were like as efficient as Cambuur, that's what I feel, we would have won the same. I mean, by 9-0 as well.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about, like how big the result could be, but let's talk a little bit more about the game in general. A couple of
Yeah.
mentions about players, and I want to start with Schuurs,
Yeah.
because he heard at the last moment basically that he had to play for Timber. Timber has some minor issues. We don't know what it is. They don't share it with us, but it's not very serious. So it's not always easy for a player during a warming up to hear, like, okay, now you're playing, Timber is not playing. How do you think he did?
I think he did. I think he did well. He was not one of the best players on the pitch, but he was definitely sufficient enough for this game. I do always think when I see Schuurs playing in comparison to Martinez and Timber, that he has sometimes difficulties to win his duels. He does win them, but he has to win them by fighting a lot to like win the duel. While Martinez and Timber, it looks like they easily win their duels much sooner. Like when they come into the duel, they are more efficient by winning it earlier.
It
While
looks more
it looks
natural.
like,
It looks more natural.
yes, while it looks like Schuurs has to fight for it more. He does win them, but it's against Fortuna today. So this is like a little critical note, but I think overall he did well today. He was not great. He was definitely not bad.
Okay. Any other players you want to mention?
Yeah, quite a few. I think today Mazraoui was terrific again. I really, really enjoyed his play. The way he links up with Anthony and sometimes with the midfielders, it's quite something else. And also that goal, it was great. He just did it with so much finesse. Placed the ball in the far right corner, and I really enjoyed his play today. For weeks, he has been one of my favorite players to watch now. And like I've said way earlier, while a lot of people always said like, yeah, but he's injured a lot. I already said back then, this is the best right back we have in the eredivisie, and probably a top 10 right back in Europe when he's fit. And I really hope, whatever the reason is that it isn't a done deal yet, I really hope he signs a contract soon, because this guy is quality. Also, our captain, amazing. 2 assists again today. He scored a goal. He makes it look so easy without much effort. And the way he also played in the striker position again, and he linked up with Tagliafico with a great goal, that combination between the two. He really has an eye for his surroundings and the players he plays with, and he makes other players play better. And this is something that is a great quality, and I really enjoyed him today again. So for me, he was the man of the match. And furthermore, I also thought Anthony was great. He was playing with a lot of energy, and he was like finding his direct opponent and trying to surpass him, or on the outside, or on the inside, or linking up with Noes. He's been terrific the last matches, and I really hope he can find this form for the rest of the season, because he's a quality player if he can play like this.
Yeah. All right. I just want to finish up because you started I want to end by saying about the Mazraoui situation. We have to talk about that. There was a big interview about this with Football International, and he talked about a lot of things. And one of the things, of course, was his contract situation. Where do you stand in terms of, he's basically very open about the situation that he wants more money. What do you think? What would you do if you were Ajax? And what's your opinion about this in general?
I do not think he should earn the amount of money the top players earn,
Who
like
are the top
Tadic.
players for you?
Yeah, I think Blind, Tadic, and because he negotiated very well, I think also Berghuis, because he was cheap when buying him.
Yeah.
But I think he should be like in the next group of players that are just below that. And I do think Ajax should bump up his salary and give him more salary, and just let him sign that contract for 3 or 4 more years. We spent so much money on Haller and on other signings. If you can pay like 5 million for Kleiber, and he also has a salary to pay, then you can easily afford to pay some more money for Noes, because finding a sufficient backup for him if he's gone again, who has to gel into the squad. And yes, we have Rensch, and yes, you have Timber, although I rather see Timber as a central defender. It's better to just keep Mazraoui if he's willing to stay, and just pay some more money, and not get into a situation like Brobbey, that he just leaves Ajax for no amount of money, for €0. And I do think he is one of the best defenders we have in the eredivisie. So please just sign that contract, and do not let it drag on. We all know Raiola. If it continues like this, he will just offer him to other clubs. Interest will come, and you will lose him.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions still about this, because what you're saying is he shouldn't, according to you, he shouldn't earn as much as Haller, because Haller is one of the top earners as well. Tadic, Berghuis, these kind of players, but he should earn just below that level. Is that what you're saying?
I do think so. Yes, because those players are on other stage of their career. Noes has been injured a lot in the past, and he's been consistent now. And I do think he has a lot to offer to the club. But for now, I just don't think it's fair if you give him the same salary as Tadic has. Okay. So for me, just a little bit below that, but just give him a great increase in salary, and just let him sign that contract.
And do you think Ajax is giving him that, what you're saying? And Mazraoui is wanting the same salaries as the top earners? What do you feel about
I do not. He wants the same salary?
No, I'm asking you. What do you think is happening right now?
Yeah, it's very difficult to judge this, because I really do not know what is happening at the negotiation table. But I cannot think of Mazraoui asking the same amount. It's like comparing yourself with the captain, who has been there for year in, year out, playing every match. I do think he should earn a lot more, because I think he deserves it. But I just don't know what the problem is. Maybe Ajax doesn't want to pay him that much. But yeah, what is the alternative?
What's the alternative? All right. Listen, just capping off this one.
Yeah.
We're coming up very early in the season already. We have Groningen in the weekend, and then next week our second game in the Champions League. Happy Ajax fan?
Very happy Ajax fan. Very happy Ajax fan. And I really enjoyed watching the team play. Definitely the mentality they showed. It's a great difference between the first few matches of the season. And also the motivation that they keep on going. And 19 goals in 3 matches. How many fans of other teams can say that? Like the last three games, and also our main competitor losing this weekend against Feyenoord. That's just great, you know. That was like the cherry and the topping on the cake, you know. And I really enjoyed that.